You want to shout out for me and have more vids frequently? Then support me on Patreon, where the cost is only $3. Alright y'all, hear me out. Bananas and cheese. When you hear that combination, you don't really expect the two to go together. Unless you're making a delicious strawberry banana pizza. Yeah, I said it. Any fruit can go on pizza. Hashtag no discrimination. In all seriousness, the two being together is pretty obscure, which makes it perfect for any content focusing on preschool kids, which is not the case for this review, by the way. YouTube has a weird way of interpreting what is actually good for kids. Anyways, Dramarama has decided to use these foods to create their own fictional celebrities that sing these childhood viral songs. And it's the worst nightmare of one of the kids in the daycare. Good morning everyone, my name is Jason Blade, and this is a closer look at Dramarama, Bananas and Cheese. The episode starts off with Chef announcing that there will be a special guest arriving to the daycare.
A funeral director?
Why would a funeral director...
Child services?
What? No! Today, we're being visited by the singing celebrity duo, Bananas and Cheese!
Sweet!
Yo, that scream! We then see Duncan come in, wondering what was going on as the cheers woke him up. He recognizes the banana and cheese hats, and it caused him to be concerned and ask why everyone is wearing them.
They're coming to do a show here. Today.
Okay, I'm going to say this now. I absolutely love this version of Gwen. The troll game she has in this series is second to none. A character actually repeating a word is a common joke, but it's something that you would expect Gwen to do for her own enjoyment. The announcement scene was also well executed with the wild answers the kids guessed on. The funeral director and child services gets me every single time I watch this episode. It's also great because it emphasizes a bit of adult humor so the parents can enjoy it as well. Just after Duncan dipped, Chef shows one of Bananas and Cheese hit singles.
Oh, I got a pony, but he's too bony. He's uncomfortable to ride. He's got 4 legs, and he likes to eat eggs with 2 strips of bacon on the side.
Short, simple, obscure, and sweet. The lyrics are completely half-baked, and the song was only 10 seconds long. It's dumb as heck, but that's the entire point. I love that it's really simple and incredibly catchy, actually. We then see Duncan doing everything he can to escape the daycare with much more urgency than we've seen in previous episodes. However, he just ends up failing each time. He comes back to the daycare expressing his disgust of the cheesy band. Duncan wants to do whatever it takes to get out of the situation. So, with the idea of getting rid of the band instead in mind, Duncan tries to come up with a plan. At this point, Duncan is acting a lot more frantic and desperate than usual. Usually when we do try to see him escape, he has a calm and confident demeanor in what he does, and the urgency for him isn't as high. In this episode, it seems like the panic within Duncan was kicked into high gear. It hints that there is something about this band that irks him even more compared to the others. Comparing to how he acts to Gwen and Noah in this scene, he's making it a much bigger deal, while Gwen and Noah seem to have little care on the matter. I did like the use of the struggle to make a plan, which again shows that desperation to prevent the band from coming. I like how we get various pictures out of this sequence that portrays various ways to hurt the two, which seems to frustrate him even more. That starts to hint the idea that there is more to this than it being a cheesy band. Duncan becomes frustrated about not being able to come up with a solid plan. Gwen and Noah try to calm him down, saying that it'll just be a few songs. Duncan retorts that it's more than that and they won't understand. Gwen questions him, and Duncan acted very sus and fled to avoid the answer.
What they don't understand is that bananas and cheese are... They're my... Bananas and cheese are my parents!
Freaking knew it! So his biggest fear is that all the other kids will always want to hang with him at his home, which is completely fair. I mean, if my parents were celebrities, it'd be very difficult for me to feel comfortable for kids to hang out with me like that every day. Heck, they wouldn't even be hanging with me for me. It will be because of my parents. Plus, it gives a solid reason for Duncan's personality within the show overall. The rebellious nature of him is a way to try and separate himself from that image his parents are portraying. So in a way, it gives us an understanding and a touch of empathy towards Duncan. He does come up with a plan after admitting the truth to the audience, and he gets Noah and Gwen to help him out. Gwen gets to be the distraction and...
Oh, Chef!
Yes, Gwen, what can I do for... What did you do?
I'm stuck in a bucket.
Oh my god! Okay, it's official. Gwen is a flipping cat. If she fits, she sits. So the boys took that opportunity to sneak in, and Noah gets to play chef with...
Voice modifier tube.
So, paper towel thing. Alright then. It does seem to work, and they went ahead and called the duo that they need to cancel the show.
Sadly, we have to cancel your performance today, so...
Oh no! Why?
Because, the entire class came down with the chicken pox.
Oh, is that all? Banana and I have had chicken pox twice now. We'll be there.
Huh?
I mean, cowpox.
Had it.
What?
Pig pox?
Inoculated.
Dude!
Fever pox?
We're immune.
Wow. They real serious about going to this concert. The setup for the first attempt was a simple but impactful one because it shows how difficult the task will be for Duncan. Gwen's distraction also shows the prime example of how great Gwen is as a supporting character, as well as how unique her personality is.
What comes after A?
B. B comes after A.
How do you not know that? Huh, who cares about the letter bet? I have a new idea.
Bro, what the heck? So, Duncan thinks the next best thing is to try and delay the band until it's time to go.
Delay them with a dinosaur.
Obviously not with an actual dinosaur. No one has learned how to train those yet. Duh.
Which gave Noah an idea on how to do that. But it meant going back into Chef's office. You know what that means.
Chef!
So cute! So Noah was able to track the banana car and hack the city's traffic light system to slow them down. Bro, what? How do you know that? But you know what? They don't care about your red light. Now I see where Duncan gets his rebellious nature, which he uses to call the cops. This is flippin' wild. The stakes heavily went into high gear in a matter of seconds. The pacing of the episode went bananas. No pun intended. And I love every second of it. The growth of desperation spread very quickly throughout him by taking the step further by calling the cops on his own parents and lying to them about the car being stolen. These are the kind of high stakes I live for. He makes sense why he would resort to that with how much of a loose cannon he has become since knowing the news of Bananas and Cheese coming.
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to write you a huge ticket. For being awesome!
What the fuck? So now the band has a police escort. But that is not stopping Duncan from preventing them from getting in. So they barricade the door and place thumbtacks on the street. Yeah, that pretty much ended as I thought it was going to. These wacky turn of events is a lot to look over because these adults were determined to get to this concert. The cop scene really brought home that you can't just beat the power pack fame of Bananas and Cheese. I have to say, it was good to see more of the parents' personality in this, and I could definitely tell which parent Duncan got his edginess from. Once again, the carnage presented in the end was great because it represents how strong the willpower is between the two sides. So with that, Bananas and Cheese begin to perform a very special song about a certain someone.
He's our little pumpkin, but you might know him as...
Yeah, Duncan decided to make obnoxious noises every time they say his name, and that last-ditch effort was able to work for him. He felt relieved that he was able to avoid...
Time to go home, sweetie. Grab your lunch bag and meet us in the car.
Yeah, I figured. So the others were quick to want to hang out with Duncan, and he dipped from the scene with his parents, and that was Bananas and Cheese. This episode is easily one of my favorites to watch in the first season. In this episode, we get to see a different side of Duncan that isn't the usual nice guy trope we see in the bad boy stereotype. In this one, we see a more fearful approach to the obstacle in front of him. I love Bananas and Cheese as well because it gives a chance to empathize with Duncan a little bit of having to deal with being the celebrity's child. Keeping something like that on the down low helped him keep out of that shadow. So his parents coming in that getup would completely ruin that for him. And it made sense that he went above and beyond. The pacing worked very well with each attempt making the arrival of the band faster and faster. I also like the roles both Noah and Gwen played because even though they were willing to help Duncan out, they were completely sus on Duncan and his actions. This was certainly a wild episode, but that is a good thing. It was chaos that was controlled very well, and it helped serve this episode to be one of the best Dramarama has to offer. So my quote for this episode is, "This is a fun police car crash." Thanks for taking the time to see this closer look. If you would like to see more closer looks, click the videos to the left. Until then, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.